Hello, I'm Christina Ennis, and welcome to the 2024 Mineral Resources Review, sponsored by Trajectory Engineering and powered by Gale Force Winds. I'm joined this morning by Jeff Swinoga. Jeff is the president and CEO of Exploits Discovery. Thank you for joining me, Jeff.
Well, thank you, Christina. It's a pleasure being here.
Awesome. So to kick us off, Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what brings you to the Mineral Resources Review here in St. John's?
Sure. Well, I've been in mining for about 25 years. I worked on different projects. Well, first off with Barrick Gold and various different companies during the years. I worked in Africa, worked in South America, worked in a lot of different challenging jurisdictions, and certainly it's a pleasure for me to be running a company that's based in Newfoundland. So in Labrador, so it's great. We got all local team in Gander, Newfoundland.
Love to hear that.
You know, we're going to be doing a lot of great exploration work. So no, we're super pleased to be here. Yeah.
Excellent. So can you tell me a little bit more about Exploits Discovery? What company's all about? How it came to be?
Sure. Well, honestly, it's if you look at the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, basically there's a fault running through the central Newfoundland near Gander, and it's called the Appleton Fault.
The what fault?
The Appleton Fault.
Appleton Fault. Okay,
yeah, the Appleton Fault. And the Appleton Fault has been hosting a number of gold discoveries over the last 5 years. There's a great company called Newfound Gold that's found over 20 gold discoveries so far, 20 gold zones. Some big, some small, some are growing. And so we've got the next property up called Bullseye right here. We staked that about 2 years ago, and then we have another 8 kilometers to the north on Gazebo. So everything seems to be moving north. So Exploits has been drilling for the last maybe a year and a half, not continuously, but picking our moments. And we've had 2 gold discoveries so far. We've got the Horseshoe Zone and we've got the Saddle Zone. And we're looking to hopefully have a few more, before we're done, of course, and seeing which one's bigger and best. Right. So the Appleton Fault is like a feather. So it's like you got the stem and you got all these branches that kind of come off, and these were the gold that's being discovered. Yeah. So honestly, we're small now, but we've got big dreams to become the newfound gold of the north. Awesome. And we've got, I call them kind of our big brother, because they've been drilling for 5 years, and we just started drilling on our property about a year and a half ago. So we've got lots of runway. We're well funded. Eric Sprott owns about 15% of our company. He's a super great investor. He's been very supportive of the whole region. Awesome. So we're looking to do good things in the near and the long term.
Cool. That sounds like there's a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
Exploits Discovery.
Yeah.
Is there any up-and-coming projects that you'd like to highlight for folks who are watching at home who might have just learned a lot about the Appleton Fault and what's going on? Yeah,
so what's coming up is two key things are likely going to happen. One is, we found the Horseshoe Zone, and I mentioned the Saddle Zone. Yep. Saddle, we hit some pretty nice grade, like 67 grams over 3.3 meters gold, which is a really good hit.
Good.
Right? And then we're looking to follow that up. So the drill program coming up in the next week or so is going to be drilling the Saddle Zone. We're also looking at areas that could become bigger and better, like Newfound had K2, and the K2 looks like it's getting bigger, and it's right near our border. Like a lot of these gold discoveries are within like 100 meters of our border.
Oh wow.
So when we talk about closeology, we're talking about very close. We're talking about you and I walking to get a coffee, and you go, okay, that was the last gold zone discovered, right?
Concentrated area.
Yeah, then here's our border over here.
Oh, right.
So it's a really, if you go back about a year and a half, in this one area that's only about maybe 2 kilometers stretch, there was no gold discoveries announced. Then literally in the last year and a half, there's been about 9 gold discoveries. So it's been, when I say the area is heating up, the area is heating up all within this small concentrated area.
Oh,
now, having said this, the Appleton Fault runs for probably 80 plus kilometers. So when we talk about the early days of where we are and what's happening, if you look at Quebec, like the Abitibi region is, chock full of discoveries, big mines, historic mines like LaRonde, for example. We view this Appleton Fault in central Newfoundland almost like the early days of the Abitibi. And to be on the cusp of making history, who was first, who found the big ones, and to be able to run these type of programs, it's super exciting. So in the near term, we've got our drill program on Bullseye, which is hopefully going to yield a couple more gold discoveries. But then we need to get to Gazebo, because Gazebo is like 8 kilometers of the Appleton Fault. We've done some till sampling on it. We're going to come up with more till sampling. It means where you find gold grains in soil.
Right.
And so we want to drill that in the future, but it's so large. We got to make sure that we have a high probability of success. Yeah, we're actually quite good at when we have a drill program, finding gold. If you look at our metrics, yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a higher risk game or high risk game, but we that's why we haven't been continuously drilling. We want to make sure that we're doing all the work necessary to be successful.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Awesome. That's great. Jeff, can you touch a little bit on what events like this mean to exploits discovery? How does the culmination of the mineral resources review benefit your company?
Well, I have to say I love Newfoundland and Labrador. Like honestly,
Me too.
and honestly, I've been the pleasure of doing this job for about 3 years, and so. Again, number one, people are just fantastic, and it's no different within the exploration mining sector, right? So there's a lot of understanding, collaboration. There's a lot of discussion. We want to lift everyone up. You know, if we become first or biggest and best, I mean that's great. But we want to see other successes in the region too, with our peer group. So we don't share non-public information, but we're certainly helpful. It's what we're seeing, publicly disclosed, because we want to see success. We want to see more success. I mean, on the Valentine Fault, we saw Marathon, and Calibre now coming in. We see Firefly doing great. So the more we can get this industry moving up, the sooner we can create more jobs for people and create, again, a great, strong mining industry for the province.
I love hearing industry talk about contributing to the overall sustainability of regions, and the mining sector is one that absolutely gets that, especially given the geography of where the discoveries are occurring. So
you couldn't pick a better location, to be honest.
Awesome.
Cool.
So Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to add, either about the mineral resources review or about the company or kind of your experience working in Newfoundland and Labrador before we go up?
Well, I think and maybe in summary is that, we've got a great exploration company called Exploits Discovery. Please look us up. Please follow the story. All the local team again in Newfoundland, well funded. Eric Sprott owns 15% and Newfoundland owns some shares as well. And so just to watch us, but both from an overall region, come to Newfoundland, do a site visit, see St. John, see Gander, see other Grand Falls. There's so many great locations. And again, this is the early days of mineral exploration. The government's doing a fantastic job. I can't speak the government, honestly, is so supportive. I see them at these conferences, of course, which are local, but I see them in Europe. I see them in other places. And they have the playbook on how they're looking they want to see 5 new mines in the province. And I mean, what a better what could be a higher endorsement of how supportive they are. So honestly, it's a great region to be in. We're looking for greater success, but we have to do the work to show it.
Excellent. And on cluing up on that note, that is something that was reiterated by the minister this morning and also the premier about the benefit and value of going out of the province, encouraging investment here, but also enabling export outside the province. So love that you tied that back in. Thank you so much for joining me, Jeff. It was a pleasure to learn more about the Appleton Fault, and I will be staying tuned for hopefully some success in your future endeavors with Exploits Discovery.
Thank you very much, Kristen.
Awesome. Stay tuned, folks, for more from the Mineral Resources Review in St. John's.